Hey everyone, the United Motor Coach Association National Bus Expo show is coming up, featuring a giant showroom of all the newest and latest buses, as well as the latest gear and technology for all things bus. Now, if you're a social media influencer in the bus and coach industry, UMA would love to have you come out and cover the event. If you qualify, UMA will give you free admission to the show and access to all kinds of sneak previews and behind-the-scenes views during the bus show. I'll be there too, covering this event on my channel, so if you're interested, please reach out to SHANDRA Martinez from UMA. I'll put her contact info down in the description box below. Spots are kind of limited and need to be submitted by October 1st, so if this is something that you want to do and you want to put this on your channel because you're a bus nut, geek, and enthusiast, please be sure to reach out to Chandra. Hope to see you there. Hey, what is going on, all you bus nuts, geeks, and enthusiasts out there? Welcome to another episode of Motor Coach World. My name is James. When the name Volvo is mentioned to the average consumer here in North America, most people would picture the car. Known for their safety and all-wheel drive abilities, Volvo cars are a pretty common sight on streets all over the world. But what about their buses? Yes, on top of many other things, Volvo makes buses as well. Well, that's what we're going to take a look at today, specifically the Volvo 9700 that's used here in North America. The brand name Volvo was originally registered as a trademark in May of 1911. The meaning of the word is to roll, or I roll in Latin. The name conjugated from the Latin word volvere. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Now, originally Volvo was trademarked to be a brand name for a new series of ball bearings from the SKF bearing company, hence using the Latin word I roll, or volvere. But shortly after the name Volvo was trademarked, SKF decided to simply use its initials as their trademark for all of their bearing products. In 1924, a guy by the name of Assar Gabrielson, who was a sales manager at SKF, along with another colleague by the name of Gustav Larsson, an engineer, started playing around with the idea of designing their own Swedish car. But it wouldn't just be any car. You see, Sweden back in those days had some pretty rough roads, and that combined with the country's really harsh winters made it very difficult to commute during the cold seasons. Well, the car that Assar and Gustav wanted to design would be exactly for that purpose. A car that would be able to handle the harsh road conditions and extreme cold temperatures. The Volvo. In 1927, the first Volvo EV4, I don't know if they've actually pronounced it or just used the letters, rolled off the production lines at the factory in Hisingen, Gothenburg, with 280 units produced that year. So I have a question here. Where's the roof on this thing? I mean, wasn't this thing supposed to be designed for really cold operating temperatures? If I were shopping for a car to use in really cold temperatures and a salesman tried to push this one on me, I don't know, maybe this is just a display model that was left open like that? I mean, just saying. Just a year later, Volvo produced their first truck, dubbed the Volvo Series 1, came out in January of 1928. The truck was an immediate success and got a lot of attention not only from Sweden itself, but also outside the country. Soon after 1930, Volvo's trucks were being exported all over Europe, but their cars didn't really become well known outside of Sweden until after World War II. Maybe they started putting roofs on their cars by then? Well, fast forward to 1934, along with a growing range of different products like aircraft engines, marine engines, Volvo entered into the bus industry and released their first bus, the Volvo B1. And the rest is history. In 1968, Volvo Buses was created as an independent division within the Volvo Group. Over the years, as Volvo Buses grew, it started to acquire a number of other companies. Between the years of 1981 to 2004, Volvo Buses kind of went on a shopping spree, buying companies like Sefel Karossfabrik AB, which was a bus body manufacturer. I know I probably butchered that name, so please forgive me. In 1998, Volvo Buses also acquired Leyland Motors, which was a British manufacturing company famous for the production of many different models of double-decker buses used in England. And it didn't stop there. Volvo buses then went on to acquire a Finnish body manufacturer called Karas Oy, and then a Mexican manufacturer, Masa. And this purchasing trend kind of went on for a while. In 1983, Volvo buses decided to enter the United States bus industry. I mean, after buying out all these companies, they're probably feeling really confident and ready for new territories.
We are one big happy fleet.
The Volvo B10M city transit bus was the bus that Volvo chose to enter the US market with. The Volvo B10M at this point was already being produced and sold in many other countries like the UK, Brazil, Singapore, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Belgium, Greece, Hong Kong, etc., etc. I mean, the list goes on. With such a great track record, it made sense for Volvo to choose this particular bus to enter into the US with. I mean, this bus seemed to have already proven itself. Assembling of the Volvo B10M started at a facility in Chesapeake, Virginia, with the first order of the bus placed by Philadelphia and San Mateo, as well as New Jersey. However, what seemed like a great start kind of turned into really small order numbers, and things kind of went downhill from there. By 1986, just 3 years after Volvo entered into the US bus market, they exited. The Volvo B10M just didn't seem as popular here in North America as it did all over the rest of the world. But to be successful, you can't let failure deter you. And Volvo stuck with that principle. In 1995, Volvo became part owner of the Canadian coach manufacturer Prevost Car, as well as acquired a share in the Canadian transit bus manufacturer Nova Bus. I mean, if you can't build your own way into the market, why not buy your way into the market? I think that was a brilliant move, by the way. By 2004, Volvo acquired the remaining 15% of Prevost and Nova Bus, and Volvo officially became the parent company to Prevost and Nova. Although Volvo now owned Prevost and Nova, and Prevost and Nova buses were really popular here in the US, technically, Volvo was now selling their products in the US, which is something they wanted to do for a while. But that didn't seem like it was enough for Volvo.
Not good enough, damn it, not good enough.
I think the sting of failure was still lingering amongst the senior executives of Volvo from the B10M city bus fiasco back in the 80s, and Volvo really needed to prove to itself that they could truly penetrate into the US bus industry with their own brand name. So in 2009, using Prevost as a launching pad, Volvo introduced the Volvo 9700 motor coach into the US coach bus market through Prevost. Although the Volvo 9700 was introduced into the North American market in 2009, the 9700 had actually been around for quite a while. Built on Volvo's TX platform, the first models came off the assembly line in 2001 for the European market. The early Volvo 9700s had a much different body style. In autumn of 2006, the Volvo 9700 received a facelift with a more rounded, sculpted front end, as well as a more aggressive headlight and taillight design. This model was known as the Volvo 9700 NG, or Next Generation. Just like their cars, Volvo's bus designs are also extremely safety-oriented. On top of the facelift the newer Volvo 9700s received in 2006, the Volvo 9700s also incorporated a new front underrun protection system, which serves to protect automobile passengers in the event of a bus-to-car frontal collision. Wow, a bus that was designed to protect other cars during accidents. I mean, that's a heck of a safety feature. The 9700 also featured a front impact protection and knee impact protection, which absorbs and diverts impact forces away from the bus driver in the event of a frontal collision. That, by the way, really means a lot to me. I mean, if you look at motor coach designs and bus designs, I mean, the driver is like way in the front of the bus with almost nothing protecting him or her. So the fact that Volvo actually went out of their way to give the driver a little more protection, way to go, Volvo. Appreciate you thinking of us like that.
Thanks, I knew I could count on you.
On top of all that, the Volvo 9700 also had safety features like electronic stability system and a hill start aid that prevents the coach from rolling backwards when starting on a hill. In Europe, the Volvo 9700 actually came in many different size options. For example, if you're going to purchase a Volvo 9700 motor coach in Europe, you could choose from the Volvo 9700S that had a clearance height of 3.42 meters, which is 11 feet 2 inches for those of us in the US. Just a side note, those were only available in the Nordic countries. The Volvo 9700H, which had a clearance height of 3.61 meters or 11 feet 8 inches, or the Volvo 9700 HD, which had a clearance height of 3.73 meters or 12 feet 2 inches. On top of the 3 different height choices, one could also choose from a variety of different lengths. From 10.4 meters, which is roughly 34 feet, up to 15 meters long, which is roughly 50 feet long. But regardless of the length of the chassis, they were all classified as a Volvo 9700. Unlike North America, where a 35-foot van hool is classified as the CX35 and the 45-foot version receives a different model number as a CX45. A European buyer could also purchase the Volvo 9700 as a Bruck, which was a bus and a truck hybrid, where the front half of the vehicle was your conventional bus passenger cabin, with the rear half being a large integrated cargo compartment with a cargo door on the passenger side, along with a hydraulic cantilever tail lift. These were, however, only available in Norway and Sweden and northern parts of Finland. Engine-wise, European buyers could choose from multiple different engine options. From 2001 to 2007, the 12-liter DH12D, which could produce 420 horsepower, was an option for buyers, which met the Euro 3 emission standards. From 2006 to 2009, the 12-liter DH12E, which could produce up to 460 horsepower, was an option for buyers. This engine met the Euro 4 and 5 emission standards. From 2013 onwards, European buyers were given the option of the 7.7-liter D8K, which offered 350 horsepower, and the 10.8-liter D11K, which could produce up to 460 horsepower. Both of these engines met the Euro 6 emission standards. Transmission-wise, a European buyer at one point could choose from either the 6 or 8-speed manual or 4, 5, or 6-speed automatic. However, according to Wikipedia, these two transmission options are no longer offered currently. Currently, the only transmission available for the Volvo 9700 in Europe is the Volvo iShift 12-speed transmission. When Volvo released the 9700 through Prevost network in North America in 2009, the North American models was its own special variant. The Volvo 9700 in North America is available only as a 45-foot or 13.7 meter tri-axle coach, and only one clearance height option of 12 feet 1 inch or 3.67 meters. The North American version featured a larger 13-liter engine designed to meet EPA emission levels here in the US, with the option of either the Volvo iShift 12-speed or an Allison B500. Unlike its European counterparts, the North American 9700 has a 2-piece windshield and does not feature a rear window. There are also design differences in the passenger cabin as well as the overhead parcel racks. However, the driver's area is largely unchanged. In 2012, the interior of the North American 9700 received a redesign. An updated entranceway featured a new Modesty panel that had cup holders, and blue LED night lighting accents were added to the passenger service set panels above their seats. In 2019, at the UMA Expo, Prevost introduced a midship side door option for the Volvo 9700, similar to its European counterparts. With this option, the restroom at the rear of the coach would have to be relocated down to kind of street level next to the midship entry door. This midship entry door design did allow passengers to board and disembark faster, which was a very novel idea for US coach buyers. However, having another door in the center of the motor coach meant that buyers would have to lose an entire luggage bay of their coach, which is also very important for the US coach market. I mean, Americans don't really travel light. Previously, the Volvo 9700 seats were bolted in place into the floor. However, the updated Volvo 9700s now uses adjustable seat tracks, allowing for reconfiguration of the interior. Also, lower-mounted North American-style mirrors are now an option as well. Now, I've never actually driven a Volvo 9700 before. However, I have been on several of them from other companies, as well as the last UMA National Bus Expo show in Long Beach, California. Now, the one thing I noticed about the 9700 is how far back the front wheel is behind the driver compared to MCI's, Prevost, and Van Hool's. I mean, that's neither a good thing or a bad thing. It's just something I noticed and found kind of neat Also, during heavy travel days when my loading teams and I were out loading Volvo 9700s being operated by companies we contracted out to, when too much luggage was being put into the luggage bays, a luggage door sensor would sometimes prevent the driver from putting the coach into drive because a piece of luggage would be pushing against the sensor. Other than that, neither I nor Peoria Charter, the company I work for, have a lot of experience with these Volvo 9700s. I mean, we don't own any, nor do we really do much with them. Now, I did ask a few drivers from other companies that operated them what they thought of them, and the one comment that I heard over and over again was how limited the driver's space was in the driver's area of the Volvo 9700. There isn't a lot of room to push the driver's seat back, and many larger drivers felt very restricted when driving the Volvo 9700. While at UMA Bus Expo, I ran into a sales rep for Prevost, Keith Hayworth, and I asked him about the driver's space issue, and here's what Keith said. Now, one thing I've heard about a lot of drivers who drive these is they don't like how less the driver's room there is. There's not a lot of room. You can't really back this seat up much because
that is correct. The seat does not go back further than this, but the steering wheel does go up, down, back, and forth.
Okay. And so
I can actually demonstrate that.
All right.
So once you get in, button here.
Okay, so it's got a lot of, so that compensates for the
That's exactly right.
Okay, cool,
Exactly
cool.
right.
Well, folks, please tell me what you think about the Volvo 9700, whether you own a fleet of them, or you drive one of them for a company, or if you're just a bus nut geek or enthusiast that just happens to know a lot about them. I would love to read your comments and thoughts on the Volvo 9700, and please keep the comments respectful. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and as always, if you're watching this, you are part of the motor coach world.